by 95% of customer interactions will be through channels enabled by AI by 2025. Another one was citing that 85% of the C-levels who were interacting on this particular survey felt that would be one of the big key sources of competitive advantage. Who's doing this well? And again, this comes back to customers and stakeholders trusting the technology. So that awareness, trust, technology and education, that's what we need to be working on, the combination of these things.
We have the pleasure of welcoming Sally Eaves to our Engati Engage interview series today. I am Nishita Goyal from the Engati team, and I'm going to begin with a quick introduction for Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform, which is available across 14 channels with 25,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. We run the Engati blog and video channel, which receives more than 300,000 visitors annually, and we publish approximately 2 videos every week for global thought leaders across the globe. And now, moving on to our guest. Professor Sally Eaves has been described as a torchbearer for ethical tech and specializes in the application and integration of blockchain, AI, and associated emergent technologies for business and societal benefit. A member of the Forbes Technology Council, Sally is an award-winning international keynote speaker, author and influencer with globally leading rankings across all technology disciplines, digital transformation, future of work, and social innovation. Not only that, she has also been ranked 8th in the world in blockchain impact and is continually ranked among the top 10 for digital disruption. Welcome, Sally. We're thrilled to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. Such a pleasure. I've been looking forward to speaking to you. Thank you.
Great. So I'll move on to our first question. You have been described as a torchbearer for ethical tech. What instances in your journey do you think has contributed to the title that has been conferred upon you?
Firstly, thank you very much for saying that. It's something that's really, really kind. And for me, I think it's probably about sustained commitment to tech for good and social impact. I kind of believe really strongly in 3 pillars. So one around technology, both very emergent, but also repurposing older tech too, in education, particularly STEAM learning, and social impact, and how we combine them all together and integrate them. And I've done that for a number of years. So I think that's been an evolution that we've seen naturally. So yeah, incredibly passionate about it, as you can probably tell. I'm really excited and energized by it. And I really genuinely like to make a difference and connect people, and technology can play a massive part in that. So yeah, I think it's that sustained relationship with impact over a period of time, and also bringing ideas to action. So as well as the work I do a lot of research behind it, and I like to kind of go on that journey, hopefully inspire people, but actually go on and create and do. So it's the ideas to the actualization, and doing that globally as well. That international perspective, I think really helps, and helps me learn as well. I love bouncing ideas of other people, learning about different country contexts, and I think that catalyzes innovation too.
I'm sure that must be an interesting journey for you so far.
Thank you. Absolutely. I've really loved it, and it's very close to heart. Thank you.
So as you mentioned about you had worked in blockchain and AI, it surely appears to be a male-dominated space, and I hope you would agree to that. But how did you manage to build an inclusive future of the work in the field of AI?
Yes, I think for me, diversity of experience is absolutely key. And I think if you look at blockchain and also areas like AI and cybersecurity, those are probably the 3 biggest areas within tech where we have got more underrepresentation of females, but also from other groups as well. So I like to think of it as bringing a diversity of experience in. And I think every piece of research shows the more diverse teams we have, the better the innovation. And when it comes to AI, I think that's even more important. If you look at the news headlines, sometimes AI gets a bit of a bad rap, and the headlines are around job destruction or elimination, and there's some fear around it. And I think we need to show the other side of that. Tech can really enable, and AI can have a massive part to play in that. So if we can start to change the narrative about what a tech career is, I think that attracts a more diverse group of people. So it's about getting more women into technology, but also creators, artists, philosophers. And if we do that, we reduce the risk for bias, unconscious bias in many cases, and we just get better quality creativity and innovation. So yeah, for me, it's visibility of role models, increasing the skills build into technology, looking at those talent pipelines, and sharing stories of success and real world case studies where particular is making a difference.
Okay, that's great. And talking about innovation, I think the latest innovation which has come in the technology is AI, and of course, chatbots has been one of the latest trends which is coming across. And you being a blockchain master, how do you see the combination of both of them contributing significantly to the digital age?
Yeah, I actually think chatbots and blockchain is a really interesting combination. I think over recent weeks, with the COVID situation we've got now, I've never had as much interest in blockchain and really seeing the potential across multiple sectors, because part of this is a question of trust. We've had that in terms of vaccines and medicines, but equally in terms of chatbots, trust is a massive question. There was some research published by Endelman, who I really look to as kind of like a benchmark. They've been doing this for 17 years, and it's shown like a global lack of trust across multiple sectors, and technology can embed that trust back. For me, it's all about a human and tech partnership. So people, if they're using a chatbot for the first time, they don't know the history about that. So we need to help them be able to trust the technology. I think blockchain in particular, particularly around financial transactions, can help put that trust in. And we can have transparency around the transaction history of a particular chatbot, bring in things like trust ratings, that kind of area. So I think really the analogy of marriage, I think would be a good one. I think they go hand in hand. Trust, blockchain and chatbots, I think is a real innovation curve in this particular area. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I also think in areas like insurance and also warranties, again, they have a big role to play in combination.
That's very well explained, and I think everybody who's curious about this would understand it much better. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So moving on to the next question. You were presented with the Social Impact Award by the UN in 2018. How do you think, or how did you leverage AI to create a social impact?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and that award in particular was around like tech for good as a whole. So there are two real aspects to that. So one is around education. So I started a non-for-profit called Aspirational Futures, and that's all about upskilling particularly underrepresented groups and helping them to get into a tech career and building their STEAM skills and confidence, but also around other groups as well. So people who might be more affected by technology, for example, they might need to change roles as technologies develop. So we target those groups. That's one area, but also around using technology for social good projects, AI in particular. So one around, for example, climate action. So there's incredible use of AI in population studies to help protect endangered species. Another one would be around DNA data. Again, DNA, the most sensitive data we have. And again, another marriage opportunity here between AI and blockchain technology. So I did a big project around DNA data. And again, I'm really excited about the developments there, encouraging more people, building trust, getting involved in clinical trials, and then using that insight to inform better healthcare and helping us make better decisions around our own health in the future. So there's multiple examples of that. And we've also done things about repurposing older tech too. So one example in India is using older phones, so non-smartphones with cloud technology, helping families be able to read to their children for the first time. And it was incredibly moving, breaking literacy cycles. And yeah, it's quite incredible. Yeah, because it's just lovely when you can do something like that and break these cycles, and then that can transform families. Is multiple projects like
That's great. I was, as I mentioned to you, I was seeing one of your TED talks, and I did see that you had visited India for one of your initiatives. Would you want to elaborate a bit more for my audience on that?
Yes, so one of them is Aspirational Futures. So that's been present in multiple countries, and we've recently put it now under this one umbrella. And there are three kind of key pillars to this. So one is tech for good, as I've been hinting at. The second is STEAM learning. So I believe really strongly that STEM is massively important, but we need to have that A in there for arts, for creativity, and things like empathy, emotional intelligence. That needs to be equal to tech skills, because that brings you that creative confidence, that imagination, and then the tech skills to help build them as well. I think there are, again, a really important integration of skills there. So we really emphasize that. And we also use and repurpose data for social impact projects. So the third pillar is social impact. And we have hubs, physical hubs, where people can go and learn and explore and be creative that are based on these themes. And we also have on-7 access, where you can develop new skills in things like blockchain, AI, 5G, and also get mentoring and support. So there's a lot of community build around that as well. So a bit of an exclusive, but there'll be a very big announcement about this alongside groups like UNESCO and other things as well over the next 2 weeks. So we're really scaling this up in multiple country contexts. So yeah, very excited about that.
That's really great, and I'm glad to hear that somebody is actually looking at the world from a social, moving an inch and making a difference out there.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. We're talking about AI a lot, and I think AI is still at a young age, yet it's profoundly changing how businesses operate this way. So, what role do you think it will be playing in creating positive customer experiences?
Yeah, I think AI is particularly interesting technology. It's one of these things that, although it's in its infancy in application in customer services, it's one of these things that's been around for a number of years. But now, with computing power and other advances, it's got its kind of tipping point moment. And also, again, it's one of these things. It's a cluster of technologies as well, with machine learning and NLP, etc. So yeah, I'm really excited about the opportunities for customer service, and I think we're now seeing some real actualization in terms of making a difference. And for me, things are very omni-channel. I think AI at its best can help bring that together so that a customer's journey, their experience can be really unified. So it's that integration, and that's that insights and informed choice, and that personalization of experience. So it works for both organizations in terms of improving activity and getting those nuanced insights into their customers who might be interested in the future, but for the customers themselves, getting that information that's relevant, that matters to them, and be able to have that and filtering away the rest and helping them make informed choices. I think the other thing I would say as well is it's not just all about online. I think we're going to see a reinvention of the physical space for customer services as well. So earlier this year, I was at an event, before the travel things came in, there was a big event in New York. I was there at smart mirror technology, and that was really exciting. So it's kind of reimagining you going into the shop to get your new blouse or something like that, and you could look at it would, if you consented, obviously, it would look at your social media feeds and see what you care about, what you're interested in. So you might be very passionate about sustainability, for example, and then when you go into that fitting room, you've got like an embedded tag with RFD and other technology, and you can see the whole journey of that garment, and you can see if it truly is fair trade. You can see what materials are involved, and also you can actually interact with that mirror using different integrations of technology to get different sizes, to get different colors, things like that. So it speeds up, it adds that convenience and that personalization of experience. So you can make a choice around convenience, around price, around the supply chain history. So it gives you that control, and so I'm really excited about what we can achieve through this. So yeah, it's AI, but also the integration of these technologies, I would say, is really important.
That's beautifully explained. And I think AI has been really helping businesses get easier consume on resources and give a better experience and being available 24 into 7. And that's what every customer expects first.
Absolutely. It's freeing up time for more meaningful interactions. So you can get rid of some of the more, routine, mundane questions and free up that human space to talk about the things that are more complicated or more nuanced, and have that personal interaction. So it's that thing I talk about human tech partnership. I think is a great example of that. And we're really advancing now in the sophistication around these things. So it's a
And I
good
think
time.
a lot of people actually say that AI is here to take jobs, but I personally feel that it's not here to take jobs, but it is here to make humans more productive in better thinking, so that they can put their time in being or producing better thoughts and implementing it, rather than just, as you said, in just putting their time in mundane tasks or just doing one thing which can be actually automated or can be done by a bot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, it's this partnership and kind of complementary strengths, I think, here. And you're absolutely right. Some of the talk around these subjects is about it taking away things. Well, actually, is a huge enablement opportunity here. It's about harnessing technology to help us, not to take away from things. So yeah, I completely agree with that. And there's a real value share proposition, ethical development, and then everything else, the pipeline from there can be really meaningful for the future of work and for education too.
That's true, totally true. Talking about AI, how do you believe the world of AI, automation, conversational intelligence will change the way we work, acquire businesses, or even provide services to our customer going forward in the future?
Yeah, I think we're seeing this big integration opportunity at the moment. And I actually think what most people are experiencing right now, during COVID, we've got this big distributed working that's happening on a scale and depth that's never seen before. And I think we're bringing to see the art of the possible, the types of conversations and the actual experience through these interactions that we're seeing enabled by these combination of technologies. We're seeing what can be done, and more people than ever before are experiencing this. Things even like what we're doing today. For a lot of people, this is quite new. And obviously in digital, we do this quite a lot. But for some people now, this is something that's part of their everyday that never was beforehand. And they're potential and the possibilities are becoming more mainstream, I think, and that's increasing trust and it's increasing acceptance. And so again, we're seeing more blended learning. And I think there's lots of applications for automation and AI in this blended learning proposition to free up more time again through routine tasks and some levels of marking to more quality student-teacher interactions. So I think we're at quite a tipping point here. More hybrid working, living and studying, and these technologies play a vital part in enabling that to happen. So yeah, it's a tipping point moment. I think for businesses as well, a lot of research, I've seen 2 studies recently from 2 big tech players. One of them was saying by 95% of customer interactions will be through channels enabled by AI by 2025. Another one was citing that 85% of the C-levels who were interacting on this particular survey felt that would be one of the big key sources of competitive advantage. Who's doing this well? And again, this comes back to customers and stakeholders trusting the technology. So that awareness, trust, technology and education, that's what we need to be working on, the combination of these things.
Of course, that's true. And I think a lot of businesses are already using conversational intelligence or AI as a competitive advantage, because some traditional companies are still reluctant to adopt that, but companies who are ready to bring a change about in their thinking and their perspective will be able to win faster because they are open to adapt to the new emerging technologies.
Absolutely. And I actually think at the moment, that there is a difference between different types of organisations, but we're probably seeing more agility around experimentation at the moment because there's a massive need to adapt and do things differently and be quite pragmatic. And if we embrace that in the right way and have the right, cultural mindset about change, then again, it's a good moment to try and adapt these technologies and help everybody and make things more easy for people at the moment, which we all really need. So yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, that's so true. Okay, I think just one last question. Any thoughts, any sound bites you want to leave our audience with?
Oh, that's a good question. I think kind of going over what I've talked about so far, I think for me, I bring 3 things together. So tech, education and impact. And one thing, I work with a lot of big organizations. And one thing that I'm really heartened to see at the moment is this growing resonance, this growing integration of the digital transformation and societal transformation can come together. It's not a one or the other. We can really integrate things. So we can really transform our businesses using things like AI and automation and conversational commerce, as we've been talking about today. But we can also do a lot of good for society at the same time. And I'm really excited about, I feel there's a real tipping point for social good at the moment. And, I'm really excited about advocating that and doing it and actualizing it at scale. So I think my final thing would be a kind of a call to action to, I love a conversation of getting involved. So if anybody would like to follow up on all the things we've talked about today, feel free to reach out for me at Sally Eaves or any of the other channels. And I'd love to have a conversation, and stay tuned as well for more things with aspirational futures and a new book and some other things that happen well. So yeah, please feel free to reach out and get involved. And I'm very happy with mentoring as well. So if you've got a question, more than happy to follow on with you.
That's wonderful. And I would urge the audience to actually have a talk with you, understand and bring about a change. Thank you so much, Sally. That was an amazing interview. Your insights were really enriching, and I hope me and my audience make it useful and can bring about a change as to how you are doing in this.
My pleasure. Lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And more power to you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Take care. All the best. Bye.